Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Morning by the Coast, a weekly podcast brought to you every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's just get into it. A couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I decided to do my own podcast called The Vegas Show. Lasted a wholesome of two episodes, if you can believe that. And it was more so a personal thing, in the sense of like I didn't upload it or anything. It was kind of just meant for myself to gauge where I was and see if it was something I would be interested in continuing doing. And but that, like I said, lasted for about 2 weeks, and then I ended up ditching it. I don't really know why I chose the name. You don't necessarily have to listen to it in the morning, nor do you have to be by the coast. It was just a name that I thought of as the first thing I thought of, and it really rung with me. And I thought, Morning by the Coast, yeah, that sounds good. It had a ring to it. And I said, you know what, we're going to go with that name. And before I get too into things, I would like to mention that you could find my website. It is morningатthecoastblog.wordpress.com. Once again, morningbythecoastblog.wordpress.com. I'll have links whether you're listening to this on SoundCloud. Actually, if I'm being honest, I'm not too familiar with SoundCloud. I'm actually not familiar with it whatsoever, but if there's a description or somewhere where you can add a little note, I will make sure to leave the YouTube link. Vice versa, I'll have the SoundCloud link on YouTube. So if you want to go to the website first and kind of move from there, you can do that as well. But, whatever you want to do is fine. You don't necessarily have to go to the Twitter or the SoundCloud or the YouTube. If you just want to go to the SoundCloud and listen to it on there, that's fine. If you just want to listen to it on the YouTubes, as people call it, that's fine as well. But yeah, I've been working on it like firsthand for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I registered, or I didn't register the domain. Sorry about that knocking. That's my water bottle. I'm gonna move that actually. I made the website about a week ago. That was the first thing I did, and then I made the YouTube account, and then soon after I made the SoundCloud. And I'm gonna say this, and I'll probably say it multiple times, at least until I get the hang of it. But I don't really understand how SoundCloud works. I've never used it before. I'm not too big of a music person myself. I don't really find myself listening to music on a daily basis. I listen to talk shows or podcasts. That's kind of my selection. I mean, I do listen to music. I listen to all types of music, pretty much everything besides country. I don't have anything personal against country music. I just don't enjoy it. It's my own opinion. But so yeah, that's the whole process of me getting it started. I finally made the first episode, which you're listening to right now. I wasn't exactly sure the day I was going to film it. If you're listening to this, it is Thursday, October 26th, 2017, and I'm planning on uploading this on the Monday, which is the 30th, and it'll be uploaded at the usual time, at the 7 a.m. designated time. Probably what I'll end up doing is having the video. I'll probably render the video the night before for YouTube, and that'll be uploaded, and then I'll make it public at the designated time, which is 7 a.m. Once again, I just want to make sure that everybody knows the time and kind of where to find things, just to make things a lot more easier if you do plan on listening to it in the future. And for SoundCloud, this is something I probably should have mentioned sooner, but the SoundCloud will be uploaded at the same day, so it'll be uploaded on the Monday, but it will be at, I believe, 4 p.m. Yeah, 4 p.m. sounds about right. It's either 3 or 4. I'm sorry that I don't know the exact time off the top of my head. This is the first time that I've done it. I promise by next episode I will have the exact time. But if you are listening to this, it wouldn't even matter anyway, since there's no reference point unless you somehow stumble across the website. But so yeah, I mean, before I started this specific Morning by the Coast project, I thought to myself, you know what? Like, I need to have all this equipment. I need to have a laptop or a desktop, and a microphone and all this professional equipment. And that's really not the case at all. You don't... Oh, excuse me. you don't need to have any of the special equipment. I mean, hell, right now I'm using my cell phone and my earbuds, and that's really all it takes to make a podcast. You don't need any of these special mixers or sound systems. I mean, all it really takes is some topics and a phone, at the very least. But yeah, as of now, I'm filming this outside. I don't think this is going to be a theme that'll continue, especially with the weather. It's now mid-October, or actually no, late October, and the weather is getting a lot more colder. The leaves are all falling. Well, obviously it's fall, but I mean the weather now is fine. I expect it to kind of stay within the range that it's in now, but it could change from a moment's notice. And I do plan on eventually upgrading to a better system. Eventually, I do plan on getting a microphone and a laptop to host the website, or not the website, my bad, to host the episodes rather than recording them on my phone, just for improved quality, and to make things a lot more easier on myself when it comes to uploading and kind of accessing the website and other media outlets, or well, I guess YouTube, SoundCloud, and the website are the big main three, and if you want to include Twitter. But those are the plans. I don't really have too many plans for the podcast. It's kind of just a personal project that I just finally decided, you know what, I'm gonna start this. And I don't have any plans for the future. I'm not expecting anything much to come of it either. I'm not expecting to become a millionaire off it or to make any money whatsoever, to be honest. It's just a personal thing. And if you are listening to this, I do want to say thank you. Whatever platform you're listening to this on, whether it's YouTube or SoundCloud, you can feel free to leave a comment, or again, I don't know how it works on SoundCloud. I'm pretty sure there are comments, but if you want to leave a comment there. Also, my contact email is mbtc.info@gmail.com. Once again, that is mbtc.info@gmail.com. I'll have a link to that also in the description down below. If you're listening on YouTube, feel free to send me any questions or topic ideas, or just any general feedback on the podcast. Anything at all is very much appreciated, especially this early on in the process. I'm very new to this, even though I have been listening to radio and podcasts for 7 years now. It's still, well, I mean, it's different. There's a big difference from going to listening to it to actually starting it yourself. Like, you have all these ideas in your mind, or where you want to go with the podcast, or kind of where you want to see things, but then you start it and it's completely different. But so yeah, that's kind of a brief introduction, and by brief I mean 10 minutes, but whatever. I don't really have any structure for the podcast in regards to time. Each episode could be 40 minutes, or one episode could be 40 minutes, and the next could be 2 hours, or the following week's episode could be 2 hours. It'll vary. Again, this is kind of just something for myself. If I do notice that there is an increase of demand for either longer episodes, either longer episodes or shorter podcasts, I will be sure to look into those things and take in feedback. That is something I want to do and do successfully, is make sure that the listeners are fulfilled, that they're hearing the topics that they want to hear. If they have any questions, answering those. Hopefully, if the podcast shows any growth, I would like to do like a letter segment where I respond to your guys' letters, where I'll have anybody. You could submit whatever you want. It could be a picture, or a question, or a story, anything at all will definitely be looked into and featured on the show, unless you say otherwise. That's another thing. It's kind of a given, but if you do send me an email in regards to questions, feedback, or anything else regarding the podcast, I'll be sure to feature it on the show. Obviously, I won't include any like business emails or personal things that people don't want shared on the podcast. Maybe they just want a private response, which is fine as well. That's definitely something that I will do. Plus, it'll be easy for me to do so with a small audience, no audience. Doing it this early on episode 1 will be something I'll be able to do. I can't promise that I'll be able to respond to everybody's emails in the future, but most likely I will be able to respond to it. Even if it's not featured in the show, I will be sure to read it and give my written response to you. But yeah, kind of to go back to what I mentioned previously, I am filming outside today on Thursday, October 26th, 2017. It's crazy to think that it's already October, almost November. It'll be November next week. That's crazy. And it rained previously today. It was raining pretty hard today. Most things are all still very wet. Luckily, I was able to find a chair that was very much dry, and where I'm sitting now, it's not raining currently, but it was dripping. It was dripping before. I'm not sure if you could hear it before. It was probably 5 minutes ago or so, but there's an influx of rain that kind of fell off all the leaves and came down. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have to relocate, but it ended up working out. And but I don't know if the ambience of the birds and the crickets is liked. I don't know if anybody enjoy that. I know I don't mind it too much if I'm listening to a podcast, but if that is something that people wouldn't like to hear in the future, I'll be sure to correct that and focus more so on filming indoors rather than outdoors. But it's nice to film outdoors, kind of be able to sit down for 40 minutes or an hour or even 2 hours to kind of just talk, I guess, kind of to myself or to the audience, and be able to take in nature. And it's a good thing to do. For myself personally, I enjoy it. One of the podcasts that I listen to, The Voice of the Report of the Week, he does a lot of podcasts outdoors, and I enjoy hearing the crickets in the background and other noises like planes and stuff. I know most people probably wouldn't enjoy that, but that's something that I do enjoy. It's good in moderation. Too much of it can be a bit polluting, but you know, it's good to have a little bit here and there. But again, especially within the next month or two, the episodes will be filmed indoors once it starts getting cold, and especially below zero, and definitely when there's snow on the ground. The episodes will be indoors, and I'm sure once spring and summer comes around, I'll continue the filming of the podcast outdoors if that's something that people would be interested in. Maybe if people aren't too into it, maybe I can do it once a month or once every other month, or maybe if people like it, twice a month, or maybe all the time. Who knows? It's definitely, it's not really easy to tell where things are going to go from here, because this is the first episode after all, and I'm kind of building it up from nothing. So I know a lot of people who start podcasts or talk shows, they previously have an audience of people. With the podcast that I listen to the most, the Voice of the Report of the Week, it's a YouTuber, the Report of the Week. I'm not sure if people are too familiar with him. He has like 500,000 subscribers, so he definitely is known. But he does food reviews, stuff like that, and he kind of started that, I believe. I hope I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But I believe he had the channel, and then he started the podcast, and then he has a radio show on shortwave, which he does once a week, and that's usually, so there's a difference between the two. The one that he uploads on YouTube is usually long format. They could range from 1 hour and 30 minutes to over 2 hours. I think the longest one was 2.5 hours. But and then he has the radio show, which is done every week, and it's a lot more structured compared to the YouTube show. With the radio show, he takes user requests from songs and he'll play them, and it's a lot more music and other things along that line, and a lot less kind of personal conversation or just general conversing. It's a lot more, like I said, a lot more music. Most of the podcast is actually music, or talk show is music. Probably 2/3 of it is music. But with that being said, you're listening to Morning by the Coast, a weekly podcast brought to you every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Vegas, and I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. So here we are. It is late October. The weather is pretty good. It's been pretty crappy. Recently, we've had some humid days up here in New England. It's been very humid, as I'll say. The temperature has been moderate, and it's never the temperature that bothers me. Personally, it's always the humidity. The temperature I can take. If it's 80, 90 degrees, it's fine. I can take it. But when it's humid, it's a whole nother story. It could be like mid 70s or even low 80s and in low humidity, and it'll start to bother me a lot. I don't think anybody likes humidity, at least not to my knowledge. I've never met anybody personally who said, yeah, I like the humidity. I like it. It's good. But now the humidity is gone. It's been a lot more cooler. We've had some rain here and there. I think we've had rain maybe twice this week. Yeah, we had rain today on Thursday, and it was either Sunday or Monday, I believe. We had rain that lasted all day, which usually we don't get a whole lot of rain where I am, especially not in the spring and summer. Usually it's in the fall, or sometimes it's in the spring. Definitely not in the winter. Obviously, when it's below freezing, it's going to be snow, not rain. But yeah, the weather has been getting better. Even sitting out here right now, I'm wearing pants and a sweatshirt and a light jacket. And the weather, I feel pretty comfortable. The weather, I would say it's mid-60s. Mid-60s sounds about accurate. I can check, actually. Let's see what the weather is. Give me 1 second. It is 61. Okay. That's right around where I thought it would be at. I knew it wasn't above 70. But that's the weather. Don't really have much else to say. I'm personally not too big of a fan of snow and really, really cold weather. I'm talking like below 20 or below 10. We definitely do get those days where I'm around, or where I am. Maybe once or twice a year we'll have a couple days that are below 0. I believe last year we had a day that was -10 Fahrenheit. And a couple years ago, the first memory I have of below 0 or sub-zero, better known as sub-zero. I was a freshman in high school. This was 3 years ago now. I'm a senior. And it was below 0. I think it was -3 to be exact. And I got out of the shower that morning, and I put on jeans, what did I put on? A pair of shoes. I can't remember the shoes or the shoe type, but I'll say this: they weren't meant to be worn in colder climate, especially not snow or winter. And I had on a Reebok workout shirt. It was like a long sleeve workout shirt and a light North Face raincoat. And I thought that was acceptable. And I got dressed. I walked down my street to my bus stop. There wasn't snow on the ground, I don't believe, at this point. I don't think there was any snow. There might have been a little bit. Yeah, actually, I think there was a little bit. maybe an inch or two, and it was all on the grass. There's none on the street. That's what I'm remembering now, because I remember the streets were very clear, which is a shock. Usually the roads are extremely icy or slushy, but around this time they were all very clear, surprisingly. And I got to the bus stop, and I was sitting out there, or standing, and it was cold. Obviously, it was -3, but it wasn't unbearable. But I definitely was not properly dressed for the weather. I mean, a light windbreaker and some crappy pair of shoes are not going to protect you from the cold. I wasn't wearing a hat. Actually, my hair froze. I was probably sitting out waiting for the bus for maybe 2 to 5 minutes, somewhere in that time frame. And I got on the bus, and I went to go touch my hair, and it was frozen. My hair was literally frozen. It was crazy. But that was my earliest memory of sub-zero temperatures, or weather such as that occurring. We've had a couple days since then that I can remember. There's that one last year, or there's a day last year that was -10. I don't remember too much of it, but every time we have those days, some schools cancel actually, or not. They don't usually cancel. I take that back, but there's almost always a delay for most schools. Never my school. It's always other schools besides mine. Whenever we get snow days, they never cancel. Or even delay. I don't think I've ever had a delay due to snow in the 12 years I've been in school. I'm sure there have been a couple days, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any. But whenever we do have those frigid days, everybody's always complaining. Why do we have school? Why are we in here? I remember so this is the same day from 3 years ago, or I guess almost 4 now. The day that was below 3 when I was a freshman. I saw a girl walk into school, and she looks like an Eskimo or a snowman. And she had a full zip-up suit, and she had gloves on, and she had a hat on and like a ski mask or a face protector covering, whatever. And she looked dreadful. She looked miserable. She did not look like she was having herself. She looked miserable. And kind of that whole day, everybody was complaining of the cold. I think most, if not every class is heated. I know AC is very lackluster within my school. Usually the only classrooms that have AC are the computer labs to protect the hardware, and the library. And every other classroom, for the most part, does not have AC in it. And my school is fairly new. It's just over a decade old. They built it around the mid-2000s, I think 2006 or 2007. So it's just about a decade, if not a little bit more or a little bit less. And they installed the unit for the AC on top of the roof. Pardon me for the lack of terminology, but they have it installed. It is currently installed and is sitting on top of our school. And all the vents are hooked. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm mixing it up. All the vents are there. So all the vents that lead to the unit are there. It's just the AC unit is not. So all the vents are hooked up. Every classroom does have the vents for AC. It's just the unit itself is not installed on the roof. So my bad. I mixed those up. But whatever. You make mistakes every now and then. But my school is nice. I enjoy it. It's fun. The teachers are very helpful. The faculty, everything is all enjoyable. I don't understand other kids who complain about the school and say, "Oh, I want to go to this other school," or if I had the opportunity, I would transfer into this school. And I'm definitely lucky with being able to go to the school that I do go to. I'm not gonna disclose the high school, at least not now. I'm not going to in this episode. Maybe in the future I will once I'm graduated. But for now, I'm gonna keep it confidential. But they weren't technically, so they built it, as I mentioned previously, in the early 2000s, and it was put on the ballot for the town to build the high school. And a lot of people were against it because we already had a high school. It was already there. And a lot of people thought, you know what, I would rather have my tax money go to something else rather than a new school when we have rather than a fully functioning high school that we have currently. So what the town did was they took the question, I don't know what exactly it was, let's just say, do you want to build a new high school in the town of blank blank? And as mentioned, most people did not want it. And what they decided to do was swap the questions. They swapped the question about the high school with another question. So they moved the position of the question. And then they changed the response to the opposite to kind of throw people off. So if they picked yes, it meant no, or if they picked no, it meant yes. They changed the wording around. I'm not exactly sure what it was specifically. I was very young at the time. I didn't even know about it. I was like 7 years old, 8 years old. So a new high school was definitely not a concern for me at the time. I was more into Pokemon cards and whatever else 8-year-old me was into. But they switched the questions, the placement, and then they changed the response in some way to mean the complete opposite. And then the results came in, people voted, the results came in, and it was a yes. We're going to build a new high school. And a lot of people were angered by this. A lot of people were infuriated. Sorry about that. So they built the new high school. I don't know what the exact amount of money they had to build the high school. I'm sure it was a good amount of money. Or was it? I'll let you decide. I'm going to tell you why I am not sure right now. So they started building the high school, and they built it fairly quickly. The original plan for our high school was, I hope I'm getting this right. If I'm not, once again, I apologize. But I know for a fact they wanted to have a swimming pool in the school, and they may have wanted to build a stadium for the football team. And we currently, as of now, don't have either of those. And if you go in my school and you go to the band hallway in the cafeteria, you can kind of see that. If you go in the rooms, they seem like they were cut off. Like it seems like they were supposed to be a little bit wider. Or if you go in the cafeteria into where they prep the food, it seems like it was cut off short. That it should have came out maybe another 10 feet, 20 feet. And the problem that the town found when building it was they reached stone. A lot of stone. And they couldn't figure out how to excavate it properly. So if you go in the hallway, or if you go in the classrooms where the big kind of hill is, you can tell that it was cut off. Or even if you go on the outside, you can clearly see that there's a big, I guess, boulder that comes out where they were supposed to bring out the school, that extra 10, 20 feet. And they built it, the position in which they built it was not the original plan. They wanted to do it more towards the central part of town. Now it leans more towards the southern side, as opposed to the original plan of having it kind of smack dab in the middle, so it was accessible to people who live way out on the north side, as well as people who live in the south. Currently, people who live on the north end of the town have to drive 20, maybe even 30 minutes every morning to get to school, which luckily I don't have that issue. I mean, I could bike to the school if I wanted to. It would only take me about 10, 15 minutes at the most. But they were supposed to do it in the central part, and that did not end up going through. I'm not exactly sure of the reasoning on why they didn't build it where they initially planned on it. But the land that they did build it on, however, to what I've heard, based on what I've heard, is swamp land. It's very, I'm not exactly sure of the word, but they built it on swampland. A lot of the land is very loose. A lot of the soil is very, what's the word I could use? It's not proper. It's not meant to build a giant school. It's supposed to be, I guess, not used at all. A lot of the infrastructure of the school, or the architecture of the school, is very poor, and is prone to, I guess, landslides. Does that happen with swamps? It's very prone to natural disasters. I mean, not very prone. It's not like a prevalent concern, but it is something to be considered in some way, whether it's a lot of attention or just some minor attention. But the school is a nice school. It's a fairly decently sized school. There's about 1,000 kids, 1,200 kids who attend the school, and it's a great school. That's what I have to say about it. This is going to be my final year there. I've been going since I was a freshman, and I've had a fairly positive experience. I don't really have too much negative to say about it. All the teachers are definitely caring of their students. The faculty, whether it's the security staff or the janitors or the guidance counselors or the lunch ladies, everybody cares about the students and the well-being of the school or the class in the classroom, which is a good thing to consider when going to, say someone is moving and they're considering like what school to go to. That can definitely be a factor that has a major play in where they go, is the quality of learning, along with faculty and other members of the school who kind of keep the ball rolling, per se. So that being said, that will wrap up my segment in regards to the weather. I kind of got a little sidetracked there at the end, but I thought it was an interesting story that I thought I would share. I mean, I'm kind of gonna circle back to what I said before, but it's crazy to think that this year is almost over. It'll be November next week, and it seemed like just yesterday was August, and now here we are in October 26th or 30th if you're listening to this on the Monday. It's crazy to think about. It's bittersweet. The year is coming to an end, 2017. It's been, however you want to look at it, it's either been a good year or a bad year, or maybe it's just been an average year. I know for me personally, it's been an average year. Nothing too spectacular happened in my life personally, or even in my surrounding life, that really sticks out. But Halloween is coming up too. If that's something that you participate in, whether you go trick-or-treating yourself, or if you have cousins or little siblings who go trick-or-treating or get dressed up, or maybe you go to costume parties. Those are always a great time. Seeing people dress up and eat a bunch of junk food and have fun and kind of socialize. That's always a fun time. I remember having the Halloween parties in my elementary school, and those are always the best. Those were always awesome. Um, it was always, I think it was always the Friday before Halloween, maybe. I hope I'm getting that right. It might have been another, it was never Halloween itself. I don't remember it ever being on the actual day of Halloween. Um, but I always remember getting excited for the Halloween party. We used to always have a parade where we'd all dress up and walk around the school, and parents were welcome to come in and see their kids dressed up. This is back in the early 2000s. This was back when kids were still allowed to wear helmets and stuff. I know that that's been a policy that has changed. I don't think they allow helmets or any sorts of face coverings, which is kind of unfortunate. But I mean, I guess I kind of see why they would do so. But I mean, I don't agree with it, but that's just my own 2 cents. But I remember one year dressing up as Darth Vader, and I thought I was so cool. I thought I was like the coolest kid ever. I maybe no, I don't think I had a lightsaber. I was just thinking I was if I had a lightsaber or not. I don't believe so. I think they didn't allow weapons in any sense, whether it was a lightsaber or a ninja star or a sword, especially guns. None of that. They didn't allow that. But I remember I had like Darth Vader helmet. It was separate from the costume itself, but I remember it had like the voice changer. It like broke into two pieces, like the front part and then the back helmet, and you could put it on and then snap the helmet together, and it had the little what was it? What is it called? I guess life support. I guess that's the whole purpose of the costume is. If you want to talk about Star Wars, that's definitely something I will discuss in future episodes. I'm a big Star Wars fan, especially with The Last Jedi coming up soon. If that is something you would like to hear me talk about Star Wars, that is, let me know, because I'm definitely willing to talk about Star Wars. I love Star Wars. But the big square thing that Darth Vader has on his chest, then you could press the buttons and it would do the different noises. And that was where the battery pack was held. There's a voice changer that you could use, which is always a grand old time to use. And I had the actual suit, the black suit with a cape, and I just remember being in the parade that the school had. This was, let me see, this was around when Revenge of the Sith came out. So I was in second grade, I believe. I think second grade. Yeah, because this was 2006, 2007 is when Revenge of the Sith came out. So 2007, no, 6. I don't remember. So I was in second grade when I dressed up as Darth Vader. I know that much. And I just thought it was really cool walking around with my Darth Vader costume, especially seeing the movie. I was a big fan of Star Wars. Have been since I was a little kid, but after seeing the Revenge of the Sith movie in theaters, after seeing the movies in theaters, I felt extra badass. I felt cool. And now that I've grown older, Halloween has become a lot less important to me. I mean, when you're a kid or early teens, mid-teens, it's still acceptable at that point to go trick-or-treating. I would say up until 15, 16. I think the last time I went trick-or-treating was, let me think. It might have been 3 years ago. I don't think I've been these past 2 years. Yeah, I definitely didn't go last year. And the year before I wanted to, but I was busy with schoolwork. If I'm not mistaken. I think it was homework. I had a research paper for my history class that was due the next day. And I had fallen somewhat behind and wanted to catch up and finish that. And I want to go this year. I mean, it feels weird being an adult now and a senior in high school. It's definitely weird to say, yeah, I'm going to go trick-or-treating as a senior in high school. But I'm kind of searching for a reason to go. I know my little brother's going to go. and he's going with some family members, with my dad and some other family members. But I definitely would like to go with a couple of friends, maybe, or even just like buying a bunch of candy and maybe watching like Halloween movies or something like that. Just something small. I haven't done anything these past 2 years, to celebrate Halloween, and I would like to kind of do something one last time, before I'm an adult and have kids. It's fun to go like one more time, um, just to kind of go with the bang. And as I said, I haven't been these past couple of years, so it would be nice to go one more time. Um, I know anybody, or I know I could go out and just buy candy, but that's not fun. Buying candy, going out and buying candy, it kind of ruins the whole spirit of Halloween. Walking around and going door to door asking for candy, um, which is kind of, I guess, the whole purpose of it. But I mean, Halloween will come and go. It's next Tuesday, so let's see. If you're listening to this on the Monday, it'll be tomorrow. But as of recording this episode, it is in 4 days. I hope I'm getting that right. Friday, Saturday, Monday. 5 days. 5 days. And it'll come and go very quickly, and then it'll be Thanksgiving. I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving myself. It's good to spend time with family. I always enjoy that. That's definitely something I've enjoyed a lot more as I've gotten older, is being able to see family and kind of have fun with them. I remember as a little kid, I was kind of a spoiled brat. Not really spoiled, but I was a brat when it came to presents. Not Halloween. In Christmas, I always only looked forward to presents. I never really cared too much about family. I mean, it was good being able to see family and all. It always has, but it always came second to presents. But now that I'm older, I value spending time with family much more than receiving presents. I mean, I know I'd rather see family than receive presents. But Thanksgiving is always it's always interesting, because there's always somewhat of a build up to Thanksgiving. I always have those 5 days off, because usually it falls on like a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So maybe it's Thursday or Friday usually. It might be on the same day every year. Well, I know it's on the same date, but it seems like it always falls either on a Thursday or Friday or a Monday. I'm sorry that I'm getting this information wrong. I feel like I should I should know when Thanksgiving is, but or the date at least. But Thanksgiving for school, we'll have usually 2 days off and a half day. So we'll have the half day. Say it's on a Friday or Thursday. Let's say it's a Thursday. So the Wednesday will be the half day, and then we'll have Thursday and Friday off, and then we'll have obviously the weekend. Or maybe it's on a Monday. Well, the Friday will be the half day, and then we'll have the weekend, and then the Monday of Thanksgiving, and then the Tuesday off. And then sometimes it falls midweek. It's always the day and the day after Thanksgiving, if it's during the weekday, that we have off. So if it's a Thursday, then we'll have that Friday off. I think you get the point. But and then finally, after Thanksgiving, when it's acceptable to hang up your Christmas decorations and put up your tree and your other decorations, the holiday season, I think that December is the holiday season. Holiday season might just refer to this period, October, November, December. Again, I feel like I should know this, and I don't. It's embarrassing, but it's whatever. It's not too big of a deal. Fine, I don't know the date of the holiday season or Thanksgiving. It's not crucial information. But I always look forward to Christmas every year. I'm definitely a Christmas person. Christmas is by far my favorite holiday. Um, I love Halloween as well. Halloween is like a close second. Um, I would rank them both at number one, but um, Halloween doesn't have that spirit that Christmas carries. Everybody's always, most people are very happy during Christmas. Um, it's a very joyous time. Dare I say jolly? But it's a jolliest. Did I just create a word? Jolliest, jolly, joyful. It's always a joyful period, that December and the build up. And here's kind of a personal philosophy that I formed about Christmas. Something that I believe in about Christmas. December 25th. That's Christmas, right? It's on the calendar. It's been that way for years and years. But when I hear okay, so Christmas is December 25th. But I'm gonna ask a question to the audience, and if you agree with me, or if you know you'll agree with me, it's always around noon, a little after noon, 2, 3 in the afternoon on December 25th, and at that point, Christmas is over. It's done. You've eaten dinner, you've opened presents, and it's kind of the tail end of Christmas. People are napping or playing with their new gadgets, new gadgetry or toys, and it's kind of just calm. It's the noon of Christmas, or a little afternoon of Christmas, that 1, 2, 3 in the evening period. And here's what I think of Christmas, of when is Christmas. And I mean, obviously the answer is December 25th, but to me personally, when I hear Christmas, I think of all of the days that lead up to December 25th. So from December 1st all the way up until December 25th, all those days, that's Christmas. It's the build-up. That's what Christmas is. It's the build-up. It's the countdown. 25 more days, 24 more days, 10 more days, 5 more days, 2 more days. It's that build-up that gets me excited, and that I feel is Christmas. It's never December 25th. I would consider December 12th Christmas before I would consider December 25th. Because once, it's always the night of Christmas Eve when you're laying in bed, and it's like, wow, like it's Christmas Eve. Like when I wake up, it's gonna be December 20th. It's gonna be Christmas Day, and it's bittersweet. It's like, holy crap, it's here. Like, this is something I've been waiting, whether it's a week for, or a month, or even the whole year, but it's something I've been looking forward to, and now it's gonna finally be here. And at the same time, it's like, wow, it's already here. Like, it seems like not a lot of time has passed. Not a lot of time has passed. Like, time flies. You know, you wake up and it's December, and it's August 2nd, and then you wake up the next day and voila, it's Christmas Day. It's kind of sad. You know, I wish it could be Christmas every day. But then it would kind of ruin the magic of Christmas. That's what makes Christmas so enjoyable, is it only comes once a year. And you only have a certain amount of time to enjoy it. Or maybe you're a type of person who likes to decorate all year round, or start listening to Christmas music in September. I know that's something I did for a while. I would start listening to Christmas music in September. I know I did this year. It's always just like to have fun. It's, you know, it's what I enjoy doing. You know, Christmas music always is upbeat and cheerful, and it always definitely helps when you're feeling down, maybe put on some Christmas tunes, cheer you up a little bit. Or to reminisce. It's good to, when you're listening to Christmas music and you think about all the memories, both good and bad. Maybe like you got an embarrassing present, or you asked for like this crazy thing. It's like, oh, I want this big crazy thing for Christmas. Maybe you want a gaming console, or a dog, or a car, or whatever it is, and whether you actually receive it or you don't receive it, it makes for crazy memories. I remember 2009, Rock Band 2 had came out. And this is back when I was into Guitar Hero and kind of those games. I don't really play video games too much anymore, but the video games definitely are a big part of my life. In the past they have been. But I remember Rock Band 2 had came out, and I had an Xbox 360, I think. Yeah, an Xbox 360. I hope I'm not mistaken. But it had come out for the Xbox 360, and it was a bundle. And it came in a big box. I remember seeing it at the GameStop. It came with the guitar, the drum set, and the microphone, and of course the game itself. And I was just dumbfounded. I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. Like, this comes with everything. And I asked my mom, I said, Mom, can I please get Rock Band for Christmas? And she just flat out said, nope, you're not going to get it. We're not getting it. Too much. And I remember asking over and over, just like any other kid would do. And as always, nope. Ask for something else. And I woke up Christmas Day. We opened all our presents. And there's one present in the back. A big box. My mind went directly to, this is probably something for either my mom or my dad. There's no way it's either mine or my brother's. And it said on the tag, Vegas and Logan. And it said on the tag, my brother's name and my name. And I thought, holy crap, like, what is this? And I ripped it open, and the first thing I saw was the Rock Band logo. And I was shocked. I was truly ecstatic, and I was mainly surprised by the fact that I had just opened up Rock Band 2 for Christmas. Something that I had wanted for like 2 months. I remember seeing it in November, before even Thanksgiving, and thinking, wow, this is awesome. Kind of at that point where you're thinking about what you want for Christmas, but you still don't want to ask it. You want to wait at least for Thanksgiving to pass, around that period. And I remember opening it, and it was an awesome time. I'm not gonna talk more about Rock Band or that Christmas, but a lot of good memories of playing Rock Band with my little brother and my dad and my mom too. But it was a fun time. I enjoyed myself. Being able to unravel that and open it on Christmas Day was something I'll never forget. And it was a good time. And now so much it's not the presents that get me excited about Christmas. Rather the experience of being able to spend it with family. That's the most important thing to me. I'm not even just saying that to sound nice or to, I guess, have a fake answer. That's generally how I feel. Like I said, I would rather spend time with family on Christmas than receive my dream gift that I want. You're listening to Morning by the Coast, a weekly podcast brought to you every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SoundCloud. Thank you for listening to Morning by the Coast. Morning by the Coast is a weekly podcast brought to you every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SoundCloud. Feel free to head over to Morning by the Coast blog.wordpress.com which is the official website of Morning by the Coast, where you can stay connected to all my social media and my email. Thank you for choosing Morning by the Coast, a weekly podcast, once again brought to you every Monday morning. Enjoy. So the final topic I would like to talk about, kind of a light topic, something, a bit of a ramble, is fast food. And fast food is a topic I would like to focus on. Like I mentioned in the podcast, is Report of the Week, which is probably the YouTube channel that I follow the most. He does reviews of fast food products and other food products. And I definitely am guilty of loving fast food. If I could, I would eat fast food every day, but obviously, you probably don't want to do that. But I love fast food. Wendy's, Chipotle, those are my two favorite. And I would like to talk a little bit about Wendy's. And I've been a big fan of Wendy's for a while now. They've continued to be my favorite provider of fast food and other fast food products. They always seem to impress me, whether it's a new product or a new menu item, I meant to say. They have a plethora of items. Pretty big word, plethora. A plethora of options. Whether it's burgers or chicken product, like chicken nuggets, or chicken salad. That's another thing. They have a lot of salad options there. Maybe if you want to take a more healthier approach, they have salads. Caesar salad. I can't think of any other salads off the top of my head, but they have a wide variety of options there. They have chili, and if you can think of, they probably have at Wendy's. And they have that really cool soda machine. I typically don't consume a whole lot of soda, but if I am out and I am getting fast food, or if I'm out to eat at a restaurant, I will typically get soda, root beer, or Sprite. Sprite is always my safe route. If I'm not sure what I want to get to drink, I'll usually just go with a Sprite. Root beer. Most places don't really serve Mountain Dew. I used to be into Mountain Dew, but I have not had Mountain Dew in quite some time. I haven't had it in probably over a year. But so more about Wendy's. I have a complaint about Wendy's. I've had some negative experiences with Wendy's recently. I'm not sure if it is the restaurant that I'm going to, the Wendy's near me, or just the overall quality of Wendy's as a whole. But I've noticed a decline in quality of food at Wendy's. And this is something I noticed only recently, only a couple months ago. I still continue to go to Wendy's. I still continue to support them. They are, after all, my favorite fast food chain. They do have their slogan, always fresh, never frozen, which I think is a great slogan and a great option. If I had to pick over frozen beef or fresh beef, I would pick the fresh beef 10 times out of 10. But I've noticed a decline in the quality of food, which has been a bit frustrating. As a frequenter of Wendy's, I probably have Wendy's a couple times a month, maybe 2, 3, 4 times a month at the most. I mean, in the past, I haven't really had a whole lot of fast food, but kind of more so recently, I've been enjoying a lot more fast food. Again, not the most healthiest, but it's good. I don't gouge myself. Nope, not the right word. I don't just only eat fast food. I always make sure that I switch it up and I have a variety of options and other types of food. I love most food, fruits, vegetables, meat, carbs, whatever. But fast food, I'll be the first to say it, is my favorite. I love fast food. But I've noticed a decline. And it's most of the time when I go to Wendy's, I'll either get a Baconator with fries and a Sprite. I think that's a Baconator. Yeah, the Baconator is Wendy's. I'm 100% certain of that. Or I'll get a 20-piece chicken nugget with fries and a Sprite. And I've noticed something about the Baconator is different. The overall build of the sandwich is a lot weaker as compared to previously. And then their chicken nuggets. And I had their honey mustard the last time I was there. I had Wendy's a couple days ago, actually, and I got honey mustard sauce. I didn't even know they had honey mustard sauce until they offered me it. And I thought, you know what, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, give me some honey mustard. I was very disgusted by it and very much upset with their sauce, the honey mustard sauce. And it ruined my meal for me. I'll just go out and say it. It ruined my meal, the honey mustard. I didn't have any other sauce, so it was either the honey mustard or just the raw chicken nugget. So obviously I chose the sauce over no sauce, just out of the fact that I personally don't enjoy eating chicken nuggets without sauce. That's just a personal preference, and if you like eating raw chicken nuggets without sauce, go right ahead. But I'd like to go more into this next episode. I might start off next episode with more Wendy's talk, as I'm limited with the time I have today. And I think I'm gonna actually wrap it up right here in just a moment. But you know, I've been very much disappointed with Wendy's, and especially with their French fries. And I'm not a big French fry guy. It wasn't until recently that I started kind of forcing myself to eat French fries with my meal, just because it's cheaper to get the French fries with the meal. But I'll say it, I don't like Wendy's fries. I really never have. But I definitely have noticed a difference from previous years compared to now, that French fries of the past are much better. And I am a fan of the more crispier fry, which Burger King has perfected. I do like Burger King's fries. Not too much the potato itself, but the coating is nice and crisp. It has that nice crunch to it. I would like to have a hybrid of the quality of the potato at Wendy's with the crunchiness of Burger King's fries. Well, that's just my own 2 cents. I will go into that in further detail next episode. But for now, you've been listening to Morning by the Coast. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is my first episode. So if you are listening to this in the future, or if you're listening to this at the time, feel free to support the podcast on whatever platform you are listening to this on, whether it's on YouTube or SoundCloud or any other source of listening. You could feel free to head over to my website, which is morningbythecoastblog.wordpress.com, where you can stay updated with all the news regarding the podcast. You can head over to the YouTube channel or the SoundCloud. You could also find my Twitter, which is @VegasMarshall. Once again, it is @VegasMarshall. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. This is the first episode, and I would very much appreciate any feedback of any sorts. But that being said, you're listening to Morning by the Coast, and I'll see you again soon.